Hello there. So today we are going to be talking about everyone, or at least every writer's favorite four-letter word, which is P-L-O-T, plot. And this is like a really big deal, and I know it's something that I've talked about a lot, and they could probably write a book about blog entries that Rachel Coker has written about plots versus characters and all the different things I've had to say about that. But I had a couple additional thoughts recently, and so I thought I'd go ahead and make a blog entry about plots in books and characters and all that fun stuff that I really enjoy talking about. Obviously, I enjoy talking about it, or else this wouldn't be like my 78th blog entry about plots. But you've probably heard my position before, and that is that I've always taken the position of characters first and plot second. And the reason why I feel that way is because so many authors get like this warped idea that their whole book has to be about their plot and about what's going to happen next and who's going to die and who's going to get kidnapped and how they're going to find it and how everything's going to wrap up at the end. And while all that's really important stuff, it tends to distract from the real meaning of the story, which is the characters that make it up and the way the characters interact with each other and watching the characters grow and everything like that. But I was thinking recently about plots. And someone sent me in the question asking, do I plot out my books ahead of time? And I never made it clear to all of you guys, but yes, I do plot out my books ahead of time. Because you can't just get started in a story and not know where it's going. You can't just, I mean, some people may be able to, and, you know, kudos to them. They're obviously, like, much better writers than I am. But at least when I start a story, I have to know where it's going and know what is going to happen next. But then at the same time, you don't want to confine yourself and not be able to let your characters grow because they're so set on this particular path. So one idea that I've done before and that I'm sort of suggesting to all of you when it comes to coming up with a plot for your story is pretend like you're writing one of those book reports that you did in school. We've all like written book reports before. They're totally annoying, and you have to basically get 400 pages worth of material into like 2 pages double spaced, and that's what I usually do. And when you write a book report, you don't write all the little details. You don't write all the special little wonderful parts of a book that made it really unique. You just write the big overview stuff. And so write a book report for this book that you're planning and sort of write, you know, how it starts off, what generally happens next, what generally happens at the end, and then the most important part of any book report is the takeaway message. What you as the reader learn from that story. That's a really important thing to know ahead of time, is what you want the reader to learn from your story. And so when you write this little book report, as I like to call it, and I do this for all of my books, I just give a basic overview of what the book's going to be about. Who are the main characters? What's going to happen? How is it going to end? And then I want to write about, you know, what are going to be the basic messages of the story? What do I want the reader to take away about life and faith and family? What is going to be the core essential message of the book? And so I include that in there, you know, as if the book's already written. This book offers a beautiful story of one girl coming to terms with, you know, the death of her mother and realizing that, you know, Christ can still love us despite our anger and bitterness in the past. I write something like that in, you know, my summary of the book. And that way, when I'm going and I'm writing the story, I'm remembering, like, what did I start off writing this book to achieve? What was I trying to tell people about what I believe and about life and things like that? That's really important things to always remember. So while you don't have to always have every little plot detail written out in your story, it might help you to do what I do, which is to just write this little 2-page paper about what your book's going to be about and about what readers are going to take away from it. And then when you get stuck later on, when you reach sort of like page 150 and you're stuck and it's not going anywhere, then you can go back and look at it and you can remember what's supposed to happen next and how this is supposed to tie into the main theme of the story. And so hopefully that will help all of you who are still a little bit confused about plot versus characters and all that confusing stuff. It can get sticky, and every author obviously has their own opinions, but that's just another facet of the way that I write that I thought that I would share with you today. So I'll see y'all again next week. We're getting really close to Christmas time. Maybe I can think of something holiday themed to do. But keep writing until then, and I'll see y'all next Friday.